Well, we may be 4 days into the month of February, but it's very much the same story as it was back during much of January, where we continue to see the influence of warming within the stratosphere, transferring into the troposphere, and it is continuing to transport air from Siberia over the top of the pole into North America. And with these constant waves of cold coming into the eastern portion of the country, there's always that resistance, that fight with warmth moving up from the Caribbean. So it's mild on the eastern seaboard of North America at the moment, but we are going to see the cold that's over the central portion of the country move eastwards. Then we'll see more mild air coming in, followed by the return of Arctic air as well. And this overall process looks as if it's going to maintain itself. And of course, that means that we're going to continue to see a strong jet stream pushing cold air out of Europe into Asia, and then of course the cycle continues to repeat itself here. Looking at this is the 2 meter temperature anomaly for the month of February so far, and you can see the overall idea here. Very mild, as you can see here, over the top of Asia, Northeast Asia, into the Arctic region, and then of course all that. The reason for that is we're seeing all the coal getting dumped into the central and even western portion of North America, as you can see here. And of course, we've got a very mild UK through the first 4 days of the month. Still early, of course. Cold across Scandinavia, if you notice here. But generally speaking, we've got a mild eastern seaboard of the entire North American continent. Cold in the west, cold over Greenland. But it's this constant push movement of air out of Siberia and into North America that we're seeing at the moment here. Now let's have a look at the current pattern here across Europe on this side of the Atlantic. And of course we've got an area of low pressure up between Iceland and Norway. We've got a cold northwesterly flow. The frontal system that brought a drop of 10 degrees, by the way, in the space of 30 minutes. I was driving between Dingwall and Kinlochhew in the West Highlands, and we ran into the cold front, and it was an incredible drop in temperature. Very heavy rainfall, then that quickly mixed with sleet, and the temperature, like I say, dropped from 13 to 3 degrees in less than a half an hour period. So a very potent front, that was certainly for sure. And then, of course, during the overnight period, temperature dropped, hovering around the freezing mark, brisk west-northwest wind, and we've got a little covering of snow here in Invergordon this morning. Now, as we press through the course of today, we're going to see that continuation of northwest winds mixed with sleet and snow showers, even down to sea level. Then, as we go into the early portion of Saturday, we're going to see the next frontal system moving through with a mix of rain, sleet, and snow. That moves through, and then we've got a run of cold west-northwest winds. And within those northwesterly winds, we are going to see possibly some significant snowfall over the higher ground, possibly also down even to low levels with this cold polar maritime airflow here. And then as we push towards the early portion of the new working week, we get a little bump of high pressure into the void between systems, one pushing up towards the northwest and one exiting into the near continent here. And eventually that frontal system during the course of early to mid next week will then push through, and we'll repeat the cycle. Frontal system pushes through, followed by colder air moving in on the back side here. Snowfall wise, we've got some snow, of course, on the ground at the moment, followed by that frontal system that is now pushing into the near continent. We will continue to see snow building over the higher ground of the west and central Highlands, with those showers rattling through on that brisk wind. But then it's as we push through, particularly Sunday, so it's that frontal system that moves through during the course of Saturday. Much colder air comes in the backside, and we start to build the snowpack over the Highlands, over the southern uplands here. And it will be a noteworthy amount of snow, I think, say above 2,000 feet, for example. But even down to low levels, I expect to see a covering of snow with this. And then, of course, milder air comes in on Monday. We see the snow kind of melting away with the warmer air moving in. And then we see more systems coming in during the course of next week that refreshes that snow cover over the country here, as you can see. Looking at the GFS ensemble, this is the upcoming 5 day period, cold across Scotland, more or less in the kind of Highlands Scotland, if you will. We've got milder from the central belt down through the UK, across Ireland as well. Much of Europe, if you notice, is much warmer than the normal here. And even in the 5 to 10 day period, a warm Europe, but notice here that the cold is extending a little bit further south. We've got colder than normal, if you notice, over Ireland and Northern Ireland, Scotland, possibly extending to the north of England as well. Still milder, if you notice, across England and Wales. If you look at the 850 millibar, or should I say the 500 millibar height anomaly chart for the upcoming 5 day period, you get the overall idea. So we've got the high pressure extending across Ireland and the southern portion of the UK. We've got the trough over the north here. Direct westerly winds here, if you notice, but cold across the top and milder across the south. We've got the jet stream running in between that. And in the 5 to 9 day period, you can see here that we've got a little bit more of a kind of northwesterly component to the upper air pattern as we go forward here. So a mixed bag continues with an increase in snow across the northern half of the British Isles. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in the next couple of days with more. Bye for now.